Today we look at some cool lore on the Iron Wall itself, look at the role of the Iron Sultanate sapper in relation to that, and then examine some of the special qualities the wall has that are used in weapons by the Iron Sultanate. So welcome back to the trenches and let's begin. Anchored by the Taurus Mountains to the north and Zagros Mountains in the east, the two horns of the crescent moon, the invincible Iron Wall, is both the symbol of the Sultanate and the very reason for its existence. Beyond it lies the last and the greatest realm of those who believe, easily eclipsing all the other known wonders of the world. None who have seen the Iron Wall can ever forget it. Despite centuries of artillery bombardment by heretic cannons, its surface is untarnished, glittering like a newly cast steel plating in the morning sun. And at night, the manifold gemstones embedded in its very structure light up in a wondrous show of colour and artistry. Neither the wall itself nor its gates have ever been brought down, and while some enemies have made it across the wall to spread death and terror deep into the Sultanate proper, they have always been thrown back. The wall remains warm to the touch, for scorching magma still courses within. On the exceedingly rare instances when a terrifying weapon of hell has managed to crack its surface, the outpouring of molten metal within it has brought a swift death to the invaders, and the rapidly cooling lava has then hardened to reform the wall. At regular intervals stand towers and bulwarks, erected by the sultans of both past and present, specifically constructed to support the long-range artillery of the Imperial School of Military Engineering. The great spires act as both lookouts as well as minarets for calling the believers to 5 times a day meetings. These constructions are not nearly as durable as the invincible Iron Wall. They are often under repairs or being rebuilt due to the horrendous damage heretic artillery and long-range bombers inflict upon them. There are 4 great gates as well as lesser ones, roughly corresponding to the 4 cardinal directions. Each holds a garrison commanded by a Lord of the Standard, responsible for the security and protection of the trade routes beyond. Despite their formidable constructions, the Sultan's pashas know that if one of the 4 gates was ever taken, the Sultanate would be in mortal peril. Thus, it is not just janissaries and a host of azabs and sappers that guard the great gates, but instead each entrance is also guarded by 2 taquin creatures of truly colossal proportions, winged beasts with eyes keener than those of any hawk and claws that can tear a heretic tank in half with a single swipe. They are not only there to protect the gates with physical force, but also with their wit. Created with keen intellect, the taquin tests the travellers to the Sultanate with subtle but deeply sagacious questions and riddles, exposing heretic infiltrators and weeding out those who would bring harm to the believers. Due to their intelligence, the taquin guardians are well aware of the artificial nature of their being, suffering from the knowledge of their unnatural existence. It is said they are created as pairs, not only for their might, but also that they give solace to each other with deep discussions of philosophy and sophisticated poetry, alleviating the pain of their existence, their existential horror. For they were created by a man and not by God, and thus can hope for salvation but not receive it. When there are no passers-by travelling through the gate, their low, rumbling voices echo across the wall as they debate the meaning of the 99 names of God, the nature of love or past battles they have engaged in the many years of their existence. Creation and maintenance of even one of these mighty beasts costs the Sultan the yearly income of an entire region and occupies the finest cadre of the alchemists of the House of Wisdom for a better part of 7 years. It is a price the Sultan is glad to pay for the protection of his people. The bountiful blessings of the wall are not limited to mere physical protection from the forces of Shaitan. The scholars of the House of Wisdom have laboured for decades to create mechanisms to help maintain and regulate the precipitation within the lands of the believers, as well as making Sultanate air space exceedingly hard for heretic aerial forces to harry, due to the high winds that often whip above the spires of the Iron Wall. Here wondrous devices trap the passing gales and storms, using them to guard their airspace against hell bombers and long-range reconnaissance planes, and within that there is an important role for the Iron Sultanate sappers. Sappers are part of the Sultanate's standing army, protecting the Great Iron Wall. As volunteers, among the conscripts, they are deployed in underground corps, which have missions to intercept and destroy the ceaseless heretic efforts to mine tunnels deep beneath the mighty foundations of the Iron Wall. Here in the darkness and dust, bitter battles are fought to stop the blind clawed beasts heretics use to burrow their way into the realm of the Sultan. Most die in heretic underground assault squad ambushes or in numerous cave-ins where death comes slowly by being buried alive. Here war is fought with fire and bullet, poison gas and fiendish traps that riddle the tunnel networks. If they can survive for a year, the recruits become hardened veterans and are then prompted into the sapper corps and can serve above ground once more. They have a reputation for great bravery and daring under even the most intense enemy bombardment, as after their horrifying ordeals underground, every day under the sun is seen as a blessing from God. They operate the famed Sultanate great cannons, which have sent back countless heretic warbands and Shaitan's minions. Though at an awful cost, it is easy to recognise the sapper from the horrific burns all over their bodies, which they carry with great pride as a sign of great prestige and status. During their missions beyond the wall, they often wield experimental weapons and defend or take over trenches and prepare positions for other advancing Sultanate forces. They're experts in both disabling enemy explosives and setting the ingenious anti-personnel mines, which the sappers use to slow down enemy advance so that the artillery of the believers can devastate the enemy as they deal with the cunningly hidden charges of the sappers. Now for some of that special quality of the wall used by the Sultanate in their weapons. Janissaries wear armour that is forged from the metallic formula that the Alchemical of the Sultan gleaned from the very iron wall that protects the Sultanate from their enemies. Another type of soldier they have is Azebs. They carry jezzails, which can fire all types of ammunition, including alchemically treated slivers of the Great Iron Wall. Perhaps these are superior bullets when fired, as the wall is created by God and can heal itself. They also carry the seal of Solomon that guides them, and homunculi, when created by the alchemists of the Iron Sultanate, are made in a mould, and the mould is made from the same substance as the wall. Perhaps as God created the wall, some of that magic passes on and helps with the creation of this creature. So drop me a comment down below to let me know what you think about this lore, and if you like this video on the Crusade, you're in for a treat. Why don't you try this one?